There are moments in football that make history. Moments when time stands still. When a single kick can rewrite a nation's fate. But then, there are moments that haunt a 2010. Ghana was on the verge of something extraordinary. And Ghana, against all odds, was right there. They had battled their way through giants. And now, with one final match against Uruguay, they were just one step away from immortality. Asamoah Gyan, their talisman, had already given everything. His goals, his leadership, he was the heartbeat of the team. And then, in the final moment of extra time, the moment arrived. A penalty. The ball was placed on the spot. The weight of an entire continent rested on his shoulders. The dream of millions of people, Ghana's dream, was all tied to this one shot. The ball rolled slowly, almost as if to mock the tension in the air. The crowd hushed. Everything seemed to slow down. As Gyan took that step back, the hopes of Africa, of a nation, and of generations past seemed to come alive. That was it. One strike, one chance. The shot, it seemed destined for greatness until it wasn't. The ball veered off course, sailing wide off the post. Silence. The dreams of an entire nation evaporated in that single instant. This wasn't the first time. It wasn't even the second. In 1992, Ghana stood at that same place. The African Cup of Nations final, a fierce battle, a brutal 120 minutes, and it all came down to penalties. Their opponent, Ivory Coast. The Black Stars, as they had done many times before, pushed to the edge of glory. But once again, fate had other plans. The penalties began, each shot a moment of life or death. And as the ball flew into the net or soared high, the agony grew. 11-10. A loss so painful it lingered long after the final whistle. But it wasn't just the scoreline, it was a feeling, crashing weight of failure that gnawed at them. The penalty spot, a place of hope, turned into a place of torment. It wasn't an isolated incident. Every time Ghana reached a critical moment, every time they were asked to step up to the penalty spot, something happened. The pressure, the tension, it was as though the Black Stars were cursed. A team with so much talent, yet a squad haunted by the very thing that should have brought them victory. As the years passed, the penalties came, and with each miss, the curse seemed to tighten its grip. Was it bad luck, or was there something more, something unseen, something that followed them, a force that only revealed itself in their darkest hours? And so the questions linger. Why? Why when everything seemed so perfect, did it all fall apart at the penalty spot? What haunted Ghana in these moments? What force was it that wouldn't let them escape? This is the story of Ghana's never-ending penalty heartbreak. A tale of agony, hope, and fate. A story of a nation's dreams shattered time and time again by the very thing that should have made them champions. To understand why Ghana struggles with penalties, we need to look at the history of the Black Stars. For years, Ghana has been one of Africa's strongest football teams. They've won the African Cup of Nations and made regular appearances in the World Cup. Ghana is known as one of the top teams in Africa with a proud footballing tradition. The Black Stars' history goes way back to the 1960s when legends like Abedi Pele and Tony Yeboah captured the world's attention. It's not just about their skills, it's about their pride and their belief that they can overcome any challenge. But despite all their success, one question kept coming up. Could Ghana ever win it all? Could Ghana become world champions or lift the continental trophy again? And then there were the penalties. For a country known for overcoming challenges, it felt like a cruel twist of fate. Ghana could beat teams on the field, but when it came down to a simple penalty, they always seemed to fall short. This wasn't just about one missed kick, it became a pattern. Over and over in important matches, the Black Stars couldn't handle the pressure when penalties were involved. Despite their incredible talent, they couldn't break free from this problem. It was as if the penalty shootout had become their biggest obstacle, one they couldn't just seem to overcome. And so, this curse, this strange, painful pattern, stuck with them. Year after year, haunting the Black Stars whenever they were on the edge of greatness. 1992, the Africa Cup of Nations final, Ghana vs Ivory Coast. It wasn't just a football match, it felt like destiny. The Black Stars had history, talent, and pride on their side, and this was their moment to reclaim the African crown. For 120 minutes, the two teams fought like warriors. Every tackle, every run, every save, it was a battle. But the net refused to shake. The score stayed 0-0. Then came the moment every Ghanaian feared: penalties. Suddenly, everything else vanished. It didn't matter who had played better. It didn't matter who had the legends. It came down to 5 kicks, then 6, then 7, kick after kick. Tension thick like smoke. The shootout dragged on. 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 kicks each, 1 miss, and it was over. Ivory Coast scored, Ghana didn't. 11-10. That was it. Not just a defeat, a nightmare. The kind that doesn't fade with time. This was not supposed to happen. Not with that team, not with that talent, not in that moment. But it did, and that was just the beginning. The moment something darker began to creep into Ghana football. A quiet curse. A shadow that would return again and again whenever the Black Stars stepped up to the penalty spot. Back then, no one knew. No one believed in curses. They do now. Fast forward to 2010, the World Cup, through passion, through grit, through sheer will, and now they were in the quarterfinals, one step away from the semis, one step away from doing what no African country had ever done. The entire continent watched. The Black Stars was Asamoah. He had been electric, fierce, unstoppable. Every goal he scored felt like a drumbeat for destiny. Then, in extra time, Jan placed the ball. The world stopped. This wasn't just a penalty. It was the penalty. The kind that defines legacies. The kind that gets remembered for generations. He ran up, struck the ball, and the dream died in the air. The ball didn't hit the net. It hit the crossbar. Silence. Jan fell to his knees. Millions watching couldn't believe it. 1 second. That's all it took, and everything changed. Ghana went on to lose in the penalty shootout. It was deja vu. The pain of 1992. Back again, but bigger, louder, crueler, painful. Because this time, the entire world had seen it. And once again, the question echoed across Ghana. Why us? Why always the penalty kicks? Why what was supposed to be
for power Vorsa.
Oh, it's a horrible penalty.
Dear.
It is one of the worst penalties I think I've ever seen at this level. He's completely missed.
After the heartbreak of 2010, you would think Ghana had suffered enough, but the pain wasn't over, not even close, because just 2 years later, in 2012, the Black Stars were back on the continental stage. African Cup of Nations, a new tournament, a new chance, a new dream. But the same nightmare. Ghana reached the 3rd place off. Mali stood in their way. 90 minutes came and went. The score 1-1. And just like that, penalties. Again, the moment every Ghanaian feared. The moment that had haunted them for decades. They stepped up and missed. Another defeat. Another tournament ended in heartbreak. Another chapter added to the curse. But the story didn't stop there. In 2013, 1 year later, Ghana met Mali again. Same fixture, same stakes, 3rd place match, and once again, the game went down to the wire. And once again, penalties. And once again, Ghana fell short. 4-3, defeated. By now, it wasn't bad luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was something deeper. A pattern, a curse, a cruel, invisible war that always appeared when the stakes were highest. The Black Stars had world-class players. They had heart, they had passion, they had everything except the ability to survive the penalty spot. Time and time again, Ghana could go toe-to-toe with anyone until it came to the one thing that kept breaking them: penalties. 2015 was supposed to be different. This was supposed to be redemption. The Black Stars had clawed their way back to the top, back to the AFCON final, and standing in their way was a familiar enemy, Ivory Coast, the same team that had crushed Ghana's dreams 23 years earlier in 1992. This wasn't just a final, this was revenge, a shot at rewriting history. The match, brutal, emotional, 120 minutes of war on the pitch. But when the final whistle blew, 0-0. And just like that, Ghana's fate came rushing back to the same old place. Penalties. Again. You could feel the fear in the air, the pressure, the memories, the weight of history crushing every Black Stars player who stepped up to the spot. And for a moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, the curse would end. Ghana scored, Ivory Coast scored, again and again and again. It was a shootout for the ages. But then, the nightmare returned. Missed, Ivory Coast scored. 9-8. Game over. Another final, another shootout, another heartbreak. It was the same story, just a different year. Ghana had come so close to breaking free. But once again, when it mattered most, the penalties crushed them and the curse lived on. (2019) African Cup of Nations, another chance for redemption. By now, Ghana had become a tournament regular, always there, always fighting, always hoping, but never winning. The past still haunted them. Missed chances, painful shootouts, and penalties that had broken a nation's heart time and time again. But this time felt different. The Black Stars were strong. Andre Ayew led with experience. Thomas Partey was rising fast. The squad had talent, belief, fire. In the round of 16, they met Tunisia, a team they were expected to beat. But expectations mean nothing in football, especially when you are in Ghana. And the game goes to penalties. The match ended 1-1, and suddenly it was happening again. That feeling, that fear, that weight, not just for the players, but for every Ghanaian watching. Every heartbeat felt like a ticking time bomb. The penalty shootout began. Each shot, a prayer. Each goal, a gasp of relief. And then came Kalebe Kuban, a young star, a player full of promise. But as he stepped up, the entire country held its breath. He struck the ball, missed, silence. That one moment was enough. Tunisia won the shootout 5-4. Ghana was out. Again, another chapter added to the nightmare. Another painful reminder that when it matters most, the penalty curse always returned. And this time, fans didn't just feel sadness, they felt cursed. How many times could this happen? How long could a nation keep hoping when history kept ending the same way? But let's pause for a moment, because this can't all be coincidence. It can't just be bad luck, right? After all these years, all these penalties, all this heartbreak, there must be something deeper beneath the surface. Something darker. Let's dig in. The psychology of a curse. When a Ghanaian player steps up to take a penalty, it's not just about striking a ball. It's about surviving a war inside the mind. They are not just staring at a goalkeeper, they are staring at ghosts. 1992, 2010, 2012, 2015, 2019, every miss from the past is whispering in their ear. Every failure is playing on loop in their heads. This isn't football anymore, it is trauma. Sports psychologists call it performance anxiety, the kind of crippling pressure that hijacks your body, your instincts, your focus, even your breath. And it's worse for Ghana, because for us, the penalty isn't just a moment, it's a memory, a curse. Every time the referee, the weight isn't just on the player's shoulders, it's on the soul of a nation. And that weight, it crushes you. Tactical blind spot. But this isn't just about nerves, it is also about, are we doing enough? Are we preparing our players mentally? Or just hoping for the best? Are we choosing the calmest players, the most confident, or just the biggest names? Because when a player like Kalebe Kuban, young, untested on the global stage, is sent up in a do-or-die moment, you have to wonder, Was that fair? Was he ready? And what about our goalkeepers? Penalty shootouts aren't just about scoring, they are about saving. And too often, Ghana's goalkeepers have been left guessing, isolated, and overwhelmed. There's one more piece to this puzzle: experience. In these moments, it matters a lot. The players who have lived through the fire, who have been burned and survived, they tend to hold their nerve. But Ghana has often placed its faith in the hands of players who are still learning to walk on this stage. We have seen legends like Jan Crumble. We've seen youngsters like a Cuban Freeze, and it makes you ask a painful question. In our biggest moments, are we putting the right players in the right roles, or are we handling them to a burden too heavy to carry? To understand this case, you have to understand Ghana, because in Ghana, football isn't just a sport. It is everything. It is identity. It is pride. It is escape. It is unity. It is pain. It is joy. The Black Stars aren't just a team. They are a reflection of who we are. When they win, the entire nation dances. And when they lose, the silence is deafening. The weight they carry isn't just on the pitch. It's in every home, every street, every beating heart across the country. Ghana's football culture is unlike anything else. Fans don't just win the game, they live it. They bleed for it. They believe in it with every fiber of their soul. When a penalty is missed in a moment that matters, it's not just disappointment. It is devastation. It is trauma. Collective trauma. It's as if, and the fans, they carry the pain with them. The unseen wounds. Every time Ghana enters a tournament, the fans hope. They pray. They believe. But deep down, there's always a fear. What if we end the same way again? Because every miss is not just a moment, it's a reopening of an old wound. A reminder that dreams, no matter how close they seem, can still be ripped away with a single kick. Still, they come back. And here's the thing, despite everything, despite all the heartbreak, despite all the trauma, Ghanaians never stop believing. They wear the jersey, they chant the songs, they fill the stadiums, they hold their breath during every penalty. And even after all the pain, they still come back because hope is the only thing stronger than the curse. And maybe, just maybe, that hope is what keeps the dream alive. The curse doesn't just haunt the past, it lives in the present and casts its long shadows into the future. Because the true cost of Ghana's penalty heartbreaks isn't just in the trophies we didn't lift, it's in the minds of those who will wear the jersey next. The next generation feels it too, in every academy across Ghana. Young boys grow up dreaming of becoming Black Stars. They grew up idolizing cars they didn't earn. They know the stories, the near misses, the heartbreaks, the penalties that never went in. They carry it all, even before they touch the pitch. For a star like Mohamed Kudus, every touch of the ball is a statement. Every match is a reminder. You are not just playing for yourself, you are carrying the ghost of 1992, 2010, 2012, 2015 and 2019. Millions are watching, not just hoping for victory, but desperate for redemption. The pressure is real. It's not just about talent anymore. It's about psychological survival. These young men aren't just asked to play. They are asked to heal a nation, to break a curse, to walk into the fire, and somehow come out unburned. The fear of failure, the fear of becoming the next what if, it creeps in, and once it's there, it's hard to silence. In those quiet moments, before a penalty, when the world fades and all you hear is your heartbeat, that fear speaks loudest. Don't miss. Don't be the next one. Don't let them down. To break the curse, Ghana must evolve. Not just tactically, but mentally. The next generation needs more than drills and game plans. They need mental armor. They need coaches who understand trauma. They need mentors who have been through the fire. They need sports psychologists to rewire the fire, to teach them to embrace the pressure, not run from it. Penalty shootouts must stop being monsters under the bed. They must become moments of opportunity, moments of power. Because one day, one of these young stars will step up to the spot, and when the moment comes, Ghana won't just need his foot, they will need his mind to be free and his heart to be fearless. The Black Stars have faced heartbreak in ways that few teams can truly understand. They have been on the edge of greatness for so many times, only to fall short at the most crucial moment. From 1992 to 2019, Ghanaian football has been shaped by penalty shootouts, moments of hope and despair. Victory was so close and yet always just beyond reach. But in each of these heartbreaking losses, there's been one constant: the unwavering support of the fans. Ghanaian fans have stood by their team time and time again. Through the highs and the lows, through the pain of defeat, they have shown what true loyalty means. Their love for the Black Stars transcends even the most crushing losses. They don't just watch the game, they live it. In every corner of Ghana, from bustling city streets to quiet villages, there's a shared heartbeat. A heartbeat that beats for the Black Stars. A heartbeat that refuses to stop, even when the dream seems out of reach. These fans are more than just supporters. They are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Despite every setback, they keep believing, they keep hoping, they keep cheering. Perhaps it's this spirit, this unyielding belief, that will ultimately carry Ghana to the heights they've long dreamed of. The next generation of players will be the ones who break the curse. They carry not only the weight of history, but the dreams of an entire nation. The future is in their hands, and though the road will be tough, though the pressure will be immense, they have what it takes to rise above. It will take time, it will take dedication, it will take unity, but with every step, with every pass, every tackle, and every goal, they will come closer to the ultimate triumph. The triumph that has eluded their predecessors. The triumph that will finally lift the Black Stars to the greatness they've always deserved. The belief never dies. So, as we look forward to the future, we hold on to the belief that the curse can be broken. Because in Ghana, football is more than just a game. It is a shared dream. A dream that has been passed down through generations. A dream that has been tested by a loss, but never extinguished. And dreams, no matter how long they take, are always worth chasing. Always. The Black Stars have given us countless memories, moments of brilliance and moments of heartbreak. But the question remains, will they ever conquer their penalty woes? Only time will tell. If you have been moved by this story, have your own thoughts on Ghana's penalty struggles, leave a comment below. Do you think the Black Stars will finally break their curse? Let us know. Your voice matters. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth football stories. We've got a lot more to explore, and you won't want to miss it. Stay tuned for our next documentary, because the journey of the Black Stars is far from over. Their story is still unfolding.
Yeah.